Welcome back to the Andrae Hall Show. Today, we've got a special guest who's shaking things up in the world of basketball media. He's the mastermind behind LegionHoops, one of the fastest growing NBA news platforms on social media. From breaking news to viral highlights, this guy knows how to keep Hoops fans locked in. We're diving into his journey, the grind of running a top tier account, and his thoughts on the current state of the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Jacob Ortiz.
Thanks for having me, Andre. I'm excited. Um, you can tell by my crazy background. One of my biggest things when it comes to Legion Hoops and social media is I love being myself. And this background seemed real cool, so this is the one I'm rocking with.
So, how did you grow to the account to where it is today?
Yeah, so again, the same thing I always say is just being myself. Now, there's major networks like ESPN or Bleacher Report, that have teams that run it, and they do a great job. And if I tried to do the job that they did, I'd fail. But one thing that I do the best is be myself. And for me, it was posting what I think, believing in myself, and just if I thought something was funny and I think a guy like Andre would think it'd be funny, I share it. And it's as simple as that. And then one thing that I tell everyone who, sort of ask me for advice on social media or wanting to grow a page is I never stopped. I didn't take days off. Every single game I was there. I feel like people, try and experiment and grow and, go on social media for a few months and then they kind of stop or they take a break. And while they're taking a break, I'm not, So every single day I'm at it, I never get sick of it. And it's easy because at the end of the day, whether I'd be working in social media or not, I'm watching, the Hawks game or the Lakers game, no matter what anyway. So might as well just post about it and look at what it's turned into.
Well, while you're posting, do you have sort of a process for finding and verifying news before posting it?
Sure. So I think over time, I've developed a ton of relationships with beat writers, reporters, and networks at this point, in my career. So over time, I learned how to filter out what's credible versus not. And I think at first, it was a little bit easier, building relationships. Now there's so many networks out there. And as you may know, and as the people know, a lot of them sometimes pretend to put news that's not even real. Being able to filter those is really easy because just of the amount of time I've been on Twitter, Instagram, and all that, I know what sources are good and not. I have my own, as well as I just know the heads of networks as well. So really easy to do that. And my process is simple, as I mentioned. If I see something, if I think it's good, I share it. Really, one of the best advice I got while working on a page on Instagram was I have to be a better judge than Judge Judy when it comes to posting this. Like, if I think this dunk's cool, I'm going to share it. And it's as simple as that. Or if this pass is cool, or, whichever, if I think the people that follow my page will like it, then that's what's going up.
I wanted to ask you, has running Legion hoops changed how you watch games?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andre. I was just talking to one of my really good friends in the social media space yesterday. I went to the Rams game yesterday with a bunch of creators, and uh, both of us were talking about how watching games is a little bit different now because I feel like my brain is a little bit more wired to see, oh, that highlight is really shareable, or oh, dang, this would do really well if I worded it this way. However, that is true when it comes to me watching sports, but thankfully, I am a Lakers fan. I'm an LA boy. When I watch my Laker games, nothing changes. It's still the same old nervousness, no matter who's out there on the court, whether it was, Lonzo Ball and D'Angelo Russell back in the day to LeBron now. I still get that same nervousness, and it's the same as when I was watching it when I was your age, Andre.
In the off season, obviously the news is a lot slower, right? So how do you handle that?
Actually, my famous thing is the NBA Finals and the NBA Cup and, big games like Christmas Day games, like when the Lakers come play the Hawks. Those are big games that get a lot of buzz. But actually, Andre, my most popular time is free agency. That's when the offseason really heats up. That's my Super Bowl. So when players are switching teams, when the rumors are coming out, that's what everybody cares about, because sure, all NBA fans are excited, when the Celtics win the championship, seeing that NBA Finals matchup. But everybody cares about what's happening next. Like, oh, so is Tatum staying on the Celtics? Oh, well, what are the Mavericks going to do now? That's what gets everybody involved, So that's the most popular part for my page. And one of the things that I spend the most time working on is a free agency, whether it's building relationships with players, with reporters, or just understanding. I come from a finance background, so sometimes I kind of understand the contracts and I kind of see like, hey, I think this player fits in here. Like, hey, I think the Hawks have some space for this guy. I think they may go that way, and then just doing some research there.
What team do you think is the biggest sleeper this year? I've got to ask you that question.
What do you think first?
Big sleeper. I might be a little biased, but I'm gonna have to go with the Hawks.
Nice. So you are a Hawks fan, as the people know, right? What made you a Hawks fan? I got to hit you with your own questions.
Yeah, well, I'm here in Georgia, so I mean, naturally, I've been around, watching Hawks basketball, but not just that. I like the team. Building around Trey Young. I don't know. I just
Who's your favorite
really
Hawk
like the
of all
Hawks.
time?
Favorite Hawk of all time. It's gotta be Trey Young. I mean,
Trae Young.
I've been watching him the whole time.
Nice Trey, baby. No, I love it. My sleeper team, you definitely can't sleep on the Hawks because, of course, as you mentioned, because they score a lot of points. If you're going to beat the Hawks, you're going to have to drop 130 points,
And they've actually improved defensively this year with Dyson Daniels coming in and Bogdan Bogdanovic, Hawks player. He said that Daniels has motivated them to play better defense this year.
Dyson is the man. I think I was reading some stat that he had like 30 stats
Mhm.
30 steals in like a few games. He broke some record. That guy is creating a new culture in Atlanta, and they need that because the Hawks offense is as good as anybody. We've seen it in the NBA, but defensively, if they could get elite level, then that is your sleeper team, period. So Hawks are a great sleeper team. Your point. For me, like a lot of people aren't sleeping on them per se, but the Grizzlies, man, that team I love watching. A big supporter of my page over the past years. Love what he's doing in Memphis. I really got to go to a game in Memphis soon, and they just have a great core. Like their issue is they're not always healthy, but if they're healthy, you can't sleep on them. They can beat any team, even the Celtics. In a big series, and I think they have the defense, they have the offense. Desmond Bain, man, I love me some Desmond Bain. So Grizzlies, to answer your question, is definitely my sleeper team.
Yeah, they recently made that spike in the NBA power rankings from 9th to 5th. I just fact checked on your page.
Yeah, and they're the 2 seed, I think, right now. So that's
Yeah,
why I said they're not so sleeper. But hey, I mean, not a lot of people were talking. Everybody's just talking Celtics or paying attention to where the stars are going, like 76ers. Obviously they're not having the best year health wise, but or people are focusing on just like Mavericks. But man, at them, and I gotta add one more, Andre. I'm an LA boy, and you would think I would say the Lakers, but it's the Clippers, man. The Clippers are so good right now. I want to say they're like the 4 or 5. Andre, you don't look like you agree with me, man. And let's talk about it. I think they're the 4 seed or 5 seed right now, and they don't even have Kawhi Leonard. What happens
yeah,
when they get? Imagine if the Hawks got a guy like Kawhi Leonard right now. Like that's a huge addition. What do you think about that, Andre? Do you think I'm tripping?
I do, I
That's
do.
what I love to hear,
Um,
man. No, I got to check out their beautiful stadium, Andre. And whenever you're in
oh
LA,
yeah,
man, let me know. I'll get you tickets to go see that new stadium.
uh,
It is so cool. I got to see them play the Magic, and like the atmosphere is just so cool there. Though I want to say they've won like their last 7 home games. You may even be able to fact check me there. They are on fire at home, and they don't even have their star player, James Harden. You know,
oh
he
yeah,
has struggled to win championships, but he has played amazing playoff games. Kawhi has not struggled to win championships. That is a winner. Don't sleep on the Clippers, my man.
I guess I won't, but I also wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts? I know it's not as new as it was last year, but the NBA Cup, do you like it?
I love it. I think, so I have a unique perspective of the cup, different from the fan, because I have a lot of good friends who are creators in the space. They're involved with the NBA Cup on the marketing side. And like my good friend Jada, she's about to be in the NBA Cup celebrity game. So I love the NBA Cup because it's a new look for the fans. For example, you have this NBA Cup creator game. The new courts, like the Hawks court, is awesome. I was watching my poor Lakers, lost to them on that court or whatever. But the courts are cool. And then you have people starting to debate a little bit more. And for example, Lakers Thunder is a really good game, but when they played recently, it was for an NBA Cup spot. That was like a playoff game in the middle of, November. Like, it's creating big games. Last year I was in Vegas for when the Lakers beat the Pacers in the Cup. I love it. I think it's a great addition. And, Adam Silver, one thing about him, he knows how to be innovative. So I'm a huge fan of the NBA Cup. What about you, Andrae? Do you like it, or do you think it's like it could be better?
I personally do like it. Like you said, that atmosphere in November, it's pretty wild. But yeah, I think now I don't agree with the Lakers raising a banner. I don't know. I don't know about all that,
Yeah,
but
you're right, man. But you know what? That is fair. Lakers have enough banners to raise already. But uh, I'm very excited to see if somebody wins, what they're gonna do, and if people say talk the same smack. Let's say the Thunder win this year, which they look really good to win the NBA Cup. If they win, I'm gonna watch their arena, and if they raise that banner, you guys all better go after them the same. If the Hawks win, you better not. I hope they raise a banner, Andrae, so we can have a call. But NBA Cup is awesome, man, and I've been to a few of the games. Really cool, different vibe, and I know the commissioner got the idea from soccer because they have so many tournaments in their seasons. Getting stuff from soccer is really smart because soccer is the ultimate, sport of the world. So, big NBA Cup fan, man.
what current NBA player do you think is the most underrated?
The most underrated player. Let's see here. I mean, I have two answers to that. I think Jason Tatum gets a lot of hate, and he's so good. Like, he's one of the NBA's best, and I think people know deep down, all of us know he's good. We just don't like rooting for him. Who would other than a Celtics fan? But he's the man, and the Celtics are a scary team because of him. Like, sure, Jaylen Brown too. Porzingis, trust me, Porzingis is a follower of my page. Huge fan of Porzingis, but Tatum is the nucleus of that team. Put up a stinker in the finals. He did, but he's the nucleus of that team, and it's showing this year. And then I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, this is just like a crazy take. But Nikola Jokic is so underrated. That man is an all-time legend. Like, you and I, right? We're a little younger. I'm 20. Well, I just turned 26. You're a younger guy yourself, so I didn't get to see like Hakeem Olajuwon or like Wilt Chamberlain, right? That is happening right now with Jokic. Like, this is your legend. Like, what Jokic is doing, he's like, I forget, like he's leading like centers and 3-pointers, and like he's also dropping like 13 assists a game, like some games. Like, it's like something we've never seen. He is definitely a top 5 all-time center already. He's like, I'm a Laker fan. Shaq is like, the glory of the Lakers. Jokic is better all-time than Shaq already. Like, and I can admit that as a Laker fan. As I should be biased. Jokic, super underrated. What do you think, Andrae? Who do you think is like the most underrated player? And what do you think of my crazy takes?
Well, at first, I believed it was Dyson Daniels, but he's starting to get more coverage day after day. But
Mhm,
I don't know about now. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like you said, Jason Tatum, he's really become underrated,
mhm,
considering the fact that finals changed everyone's perspective on him.
mhm.
Um, I guess I'll have to rock with Jason Tatum for that one.
Nice. And that happens, like unfortunately the finals is just a few games. It's a huge legacy series. Like Tatum had a great playoffs and just didn't really do well for 5 games. It's like what happened to Aaron Judge. But like Aaron Judge, Tatum is young, and trust me, the Celtics are going to be back. He's going to have his chance to rewrite, and I see him. I'm a Laker fan. It hurts me to say, but Jason Tatum will win another Finals MVP. Or he will win a Finals MVP before it's all said and done here.
How do you feel about super teams versus organically built rosters?
Of course, like at the end of the day, I don't mind. This is a really good question, Andre. You're hitting me with the good questions. Um, why don't I ask you that first? What do you feel about super teams? What if the Hawks, like, do you like when a team gets 3 All-Stars? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the Celtics right now?
Not to be hypocritical or anything, because I know the Hawks had, I forgot how many it was in 2015. They had multiple All Stars, Kyle Korver, you know, Millsap, all them. I I'm a believer in organically building a roster. I don't really like super teams, so it was really cool to see in 2021 when the Bucks won it with Giannis and Middleton. So
You've got it. I'm the same as you, Andre. Where look, I don't mind super teams. Like uh being a GM of a team is its own sport. And thankfully the NBA put rules recently that basically teams can only afford 2 stars now. You can't afford a third star. The Celtics have gotten around that, but they can only do that for 1 or 2 more years. I don't know if you know this, Andre, but I'm a salary cap guy. Give it 2 years, the Celtics are going to have to get rid of like Drew Holiday, Porzingis. Like they're going to have to make a really tough choice here. Like they're either going to they're like there's 5 All-Stars on that team that they're going to only have to they're only going to be able to keep 2 like in 2 years. So these are their times to win. In 2 years, the Celtics are gone, and it's just going to be Tatum and Brown or whatever 2 they decide to keep, which I believe will be them. But I'm not a bit. I'm not a hater of super teams. The Lakers. I feel like we've had a lot of super teams in the past, but of course, I agree with you that it's more fun to see the, homegrown built guy, the Giannis, that wins. And I think even like the Jokic, like they drafted Jamal Murray, they drafted Jokic and they won. They beat, they won a tough finals. It's not even about drafting them too. It's just like you surround yourself with 1 star. Those are the most satisfying to win. Kawhi Leonard with the Raptors, but like you should know this, Andre. The whole reason the NBA we're even talking about the NBA is the NBA became popular because of Michael Jordan, right? Everyone roots when a super team is created, everyone wants them to lose, right? Like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, we all wanted them to lose. Nobody was rooting for them. Rooting for them to lose creates the most views. It's not even close. Michael Jordan in the 90s got so much. I don't think it's like you and I were not there in the 90s, but like the reason it was so popular, Jordan, at that time was everybody wanted him to lose. Everybody was rooting for Jordan to lose, and he never did. He never did, and that's what made him so great. So super teams, do I, obviously not the biggest fan if it's not my team, but everybody loves watching a good super team lose, and that is what makes the NBA great. So I think the NBA should I love that they're keeping it fair, but a hot take for me is I think the NBA should allow super teams. I think it's what really brings the eyes because, if let's say the Celtics create a super team, we all want them to go down, and that's what really brings eyes. That's my opinion.
do you have a specific city that you think deserves a team next if
Yeah.
expansion happens?
Oh, that deserves a team. I well, of course, I'm a Raiders fan too. It's not a good life over here as a Raiders fan. It's always raining and, sadness and all that. Um, but I love Las Vegas. I go there often. I would love to see a team there. And then another team that deserves it, of course, the easiest answer would be like Seattle Supersonics or like what's another? I guess my hot take here. My name is Jacob, but my last name is Ortiz. I am a Mexican. I would love to see the NBA start going a little international. Maybe put a team in Mexico City. They already have international with the Raptors, and before, I'm not sure if you know, the Grizzlies were in Vancouver before they moved to Memphis. So we've gone international before. I'd be open to like a Mexico City, a team. I know they have the Capitanes in their own league, but something like that would be really cool. And, I don't know if you saw the report today, but I see that Adam Silver, it came out. I want to say Joe Varden, historic Cleveland reporter from The Athletic. He's an awesome guy. He reported that the NBA is working with the Euro League to try and create sort of like not like a G League, but another league. Maybe to, as you know, Andrae, a lot of the MVPs now in the NBA are European. Luka, Giannis, Jokic, those guys are across the sea, and having a league where we get the best out of those guys to come here, that'll make the NBA so competitive. So, yeah, Mexico City is my answer.
And then maybe Noah Lyles can get his facts
Yeah,
straight.
100%. Yeah, and then that'll really be a world championship right there.
A world champion. One final question before I let you go. What is your prediction for the finals matchup this year?
Oh man, I'm a Lakers fan, but man, who's gonna make the finals? Like, what's funny is I thought the Sixers were gonna make it, and now I sound like a dummy. Obviously, the Celtics are gonna make it. And who they play, like I could tell you who they're gonna play. It's like, but the Celtics are gonna win. Like, it's the Western Conference, representative is just like there for like good looks. I mean, it could be anybody. The same way last year, like the Mavericks just kind of got the Timberwolves were tired after beating the Nuggets, and the Mavericks took advantage of that, got in there. I think the Mavericks could probably make it again. If not, I say like a team like honestly, a team like the Grizzlies or Clippers could squeak in there, man. But regardless, I guess my point is, no matter who comes out the West, it doesn't matter. The Celtics are going to win. They don't even need to be healthy. Last year, they made it without Porzingis, and Porzingis came in at the end like the cherry on top. Sorry, Andrae, your Hawks. I don't see them making the finals, but I just know I love the Hawks deep down, man.
I appreciate it. Well, that's going to have to do it for today's episode. I appreciate you for joining me.
100%, Andrae. Before you wrap up, I got a question for you. So, what do you hope, like let's say there's another. How old are you, Andrae?
13.
Let's say there's a 13 or 12-year-old, also looking at this show. What do you want them to learn from you? What do you want them to? Maybe they like sports and they're afraid to, be be an up and coming broadcaster. What do you have to say to those guys? Like, maybe your fellow classmates or people want to be like you.
Yeah, I was kind of in that same position not long ago, just like a few months ago, really. I started this channel about in 2016. It wasn't on sports at all. It was just me, making regular videos, just being a kid. But then I was like, maybe I should, because I've always been interested in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just saw these interviews online. They were interviewing, commentators, Hawks play-by-play broadcaster Bob Rathman. And so I was like, I kind of want to do this. So reached out. I looked up his website. I found his email. I reached out, got an interview with him. And so that's basically what started this. I deleted all my videos, started fresh. with this podcast now. So here I am.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, Andre. I have one more question for you. So, you're 13 and I'm 26, right? So I've lived double your life. You live half my life, quote unquote. Maybe you probably live way more than me, bro. But what do you see? What's your hope for 26-year-old Andre in the sports? Like, where do you hope Andre is in the 26-year-old world? Like when it comes to sports or journalism. Well, what's your dream, man?
Yeah, I know I want to be covering the NBA. I
Mhm.
don't know whether that's being well, my main thing is being a journalist, writing articles, making connections, making reports. But um, being a play-by-play announcer, that's up there too. I spoke with Hawks play-by-play announcer Bob Rathman about that.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just really want to get involved with the game.
I love it, man. Well, anything I can do to help you, dude, you can call me anytime. Or doesn't even have to be no business. You want to just call and talk Hawks, like, hey, what happened that game? Or, dude, that highlight was cool. Anything, man. I work with so many NBA people, players, media, creators, anybody you'd like to meet or talk to. And when I'm over there, man, we got to go to Waffle House, get one of those pecan waffles. Man, I can have those any time of the day, and they're on me, man. But I appreciate you, reaching out to me. And if you ever have any advice for me on Legion Hoops, I'd love it because I'm just out here winging it, man.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.